I don't want to say I always wanted to be an artist because I was always an artist. I don't want to sound but it is true because I never became an artist. I was always painting, drawing, and so my first wall that I painted, which I remember just now as I was painting this one, was when I was 9 years old. I painted like a wall and I painted a mermaid. Yes, in my grandmother's place, but it was like outside. And so it's still there today. And so I always liked doing that stuff. And I was always painting. I don't remember when I started. So my name is Dunja Perovic. I come from Serbia and I'm 24 years old now. I came to Vienna in 2015. So 5 years ago, in order to get my bachelor's degree, which I have gotten from the University of Vienna, where I studied Bildungswissenschaft, which is something like science of education, educational sciences. I finished last year, and since then, so for more or less a year, I have been doing just art. So I do canvases or I do aquarelle, which is watercolors, and that's the majority of my work, and then I sell it to private clients, but sometimes I also do bigger projects. So my current project that I'm working on right now is painting a wall, a building actually, in the 6th district in Vienna. It is a building close to Naschmarkt, between the Naschmarkt and Marie-Hilfe-Straße. And so I was actually contacted by the building owner, and he told me that he wanted to have an artwork on the outside of his building. After a bit of thinking, we both agreed that symbols of Vienna would be the best thing to paint. So that mural is around, 4 meters times, 12, 20? I have no idea. I didn't even measure it, but it's huge. It's really huge. And I needed a lot of time. I needed, up until now, around 25 days. So I would say roughly a month all in all, but let's say 20 days of effective working. Yeah, from 8 to 10 hours a day, but obviously I'm not able to work every day, 8 to 10 hours. So on the building, I'm painting the most significant buildings in Vienna, let's say. And so one of those that I'm painting are the Stephansdom, Sezessiongebäude, Rathaus. Then I have Votivskirche, Hundertwasserhaus, Spitalau, Karlskirche, and yeah, that's pretty much it from the main buildings. And then I have a lot of buildings in between that I just more or less made up. I also did one cafe that was at Schottentor 3 years ago, and I also did a private balcony, painted it. And I also, this winter, I was at Malta because I was painting the living room of a writer, of my friend actually. So that's mostly, when it comes to painting, what kind of stuff that I do, and also art classes. The 98% of things that I do in life are the things that make me happy. And that is, majority of it is of course painting. Then I love nature. Animals, I love animals. I used to ride horses. I used to train rowing. That was my way of contact with water. I run. I used to run a lot. Before I used to run every day. My record is 36 kilometers. just because I love being outside, and just sport makes me happy, moving. Singing, I'm not saying I'm the best singer, but I like to sing. Water, I love water. I love the sea. I love plants. I had strawberries, my strawberry garden, when I was 5. Now I have my tomatoes on my balcony. I just have certain things that inspire me and that have always inspired me. And that hasn't really changed much. I just represent it in a lot of different ways. Well, I actually never look for inspiration because inspiration is always there. I am never not inspired. I can only be tired or not in a good mood, but like the inspiration and the ideas are always there, like 24/7. The paintings that I do for me all try to answer the question of what is the meaning of life and why are we here. That is pretty much the topic behind each of my paintings, even though they might look completely different. But yes, so for instance, this one is really important to me. What you can see repeating in a lot of my paintings is the sky, which represents the universe, and the stars. And so that represents the vastness of our human experience. Like that represents the outer world, which is still like the same. It's still our reality. It's just that every day we're so much focused on the material and on right here and right now, and on this planet and this our tiny lives when there is so much more. So that's why the sky is a repeating topic in a lot of my paintings, as well as the flow. So a lot of my paintings have some flowy lines, or let's say like directions formed either by stars or water, and that just represents for me the flow of life and just this continuity of time and repetition of us not really ever having a beginning or an ending, but always just going through life and just always discovering something new. I'm thinking that if I have a feeling in me that there is something better, then there must be something better, because from where is this feeling coming from? I cannot imagine something that doesn't exist at all. So that's how imagination actually works. If you look at psychology, humans cannot imagine something that doesn't exist at all. So if you try to like imagine a mystical creature or something, you have to use the elements from the other things that you know and just make it up into something new. So we cannot create something out of nothing. So I'm thinking that if I had this idea of this better realm, then there must be something to it. I was always very passionate about, when I was younger, I would say, about like finding the answer. I was like, I need to find the answer. What is the answer to my questions? And then I just came to peace with the realization that I'm never gonna know for sure what is for sure the answer, and none of us will. So we just have to deal with the constant uncertainty. And so this is this flow that I always like to paint. And so this can be a little bit unsettling maybe for a lot of people to accept the fact that our life is just a huge circle of uncertainty at all times. There is no stability. There is only fake stability. What we make for ourselves, like homes, marriages, even like our focus on children or something like that. That's just like a little walls that we build for ourselves so that we feel secure. But real security, there is no real security. apart from the fact that you are who you are, and that's always there, and that's the only thing that's always there. And so this can feel a bit unsettling to accept that. And that's why I like to paint serenity. And that's why I like to paint people, humans. I often paint women because obviously I associate myself with that more, I would say. And so I like to paint women in very serene, very calm, dreamlike states, but in the midst of universe or uncertainty or flow, because that represents for me this serenity and this calmness and this acceptance that we can find in ourselves in the midst of chaos. And that's the topic of it, but it's a similar topic like this lady. And it's the similar topic like the one behind the lady, which is a wheel. And a wheel of, and there is a sun and a moon. So in a lot of my paintings also, this is also very important. Like I said, the flow, the universe, the more, whatever the more should be, and contrast. So contrast is one of my biggest inspirations. Because I feel that we often overlook the fact that contrast is necessary. There is always going to be contrast in our lives. Because life is a duality. And we need to accept both ends of the spectrum. And I feel that we often overlook that, and that's why I like to remind myself that the contrast is always there and that it's okay. That it's okay, that's the way it should be. And that it's normal to have darkness and light, and that both are the same, basically, ends of the same spectrum. And so that's why I basically represent contrast, or the light and the other. I don't like to say the darkness because I think that people often associate that with a negative connotation, which for me it's not. So that's why I always represent it with the sun and the moon in the same painting. So job of an artist is very inspiring, obviously. That's why I chose it, because it's different every day. And that's what I like. Like every day, every second is different. Even when you're painting the same painting for days, it's different because you need to always figure out new aspects of a painting, or you need to bring in the new colors, or so you always have to be thinking up new stuff, and that's what I like. And so yeah, that's the best thing I think. Working as an artist is the fact that you are always creating something new, and that's what inspires me the most. And the fact that every job, so to say, every assignment, every project, every painting is a completely different new thing. This is my life purpose more than my passion, because this is really what I feel that I am here to do, because all the other things that I love are cool and I love them, but I don't feel that, I don't feel that they answer the question of why I'm here. But I think that the art answers the question of why I personally am here, and I think that answer for me is to create.